guys. Here we go. 1 o'clock p.m. Court 1. We got Chris, Bob, and Ed. That was a nice toss to start the game. Ed, you might want to take a peek and see what's on that kid driving to the basket. If he had to travel there, if he took too many steps. But again, from my angle, I wasn't quite sure. But you know, you were down there, so I mean, he looked like he might have taken an extra step to get underneath the basket to make that layup. So. Okay, good job. Got the trail with the chop in also. Good. That was a good call. Good signal to your partners. We have 2 shots. Reporting looked good. Got the players all ready to go. There we go. I didn't really watch to see once if you guys had your shooter, you know, ahead of time, you know, when the foul was called. Ed, in high school basketball, on 2 free throws, you were in the same position as you would be for where you are now. You're not next to that last shooter. That's college mechanics, not high school. So just be aware of that. I know there's a lot of high school officials that do it that way, and maybe for where you work games or whatever, you just do it. But I'm just letting you know that that's not a high school position on a free throw administration. Okay, you could have got down a little bit lower. 28-foot mark is where you want to be for that trail position, especially when all the players are down there to the baseline on that inbounds. Okay, good job. Yeah, you guys aren't probably aware of this, but these 2 teams are in the same conference during the season, so I'm not sure how they feel against each other when they play. I know earlier we had Sheboygan Christian, who is your dart team, play against Kohler, and it was a pretty physical game because those 2 teams are not favorites of one another, and the coaches as well. All right, Ed, you want to look at that inbounds there. I think you wanted the player to be over on the inbounds on the other side of the free throw line, lane extended into the baseline. He didn't move over there. He stopped himself right in the middle. You never want to have a player inbound the ball in the middle of the lane. It's always on the baseline, outside of the lane line, extended into the baseline area. foul call. Okay, good reporting. The only thing I would suggest is when you get over to that reporting box area, you stop. You know, instead of walking all the way over and putting your fingers up and everything as you're walking. Mechanic is hustle over to that reporting box and then report, stop, and then report. Good job, Ed. That's the way you stay back and don't get a. Okay. You get that call correct on that guy hitting the ball and going back out of bounds on the baseline. Okay, that was a good jump stop on that player, going to the hoop and then getting fouled. So that was a good foul call. Okay, I just want to look at your position as being the C official on that free throw, and we'll talk about that when we get a break. Where that C should really take position um, on free throw administration. A lot of officials go all the way over to the sideline, but you're way over to the sideline. I can guarantee you're not seeing the people you're in charge of um, and watching on a free throw for lane violations or whatever the case might be. Okay, somehow we got mixed up in a rotation there. I'm not sure what caused it, um, but take a look at it. If who went over maybe on as a lead, and then C&T didn't pick it up, but we got it corrected. I mean, that happens, but we want to eliminate those situations from occurring again. If our eyes are kind of looking in our primary and stuff, you easily can pick up rotations much easier than if you're kind of eyes are wandering and you don't see your partner um, on a rotation. classroom situation. So got that taken care of. He's all squared away, and now back on the mic here to kind of keep an eye on things. Okay, good job. Nothing really going on. You guys got your court coverage areas looking pretty good. I'm watching your eyes to see if you're watching your primaries and not fishing out, out of your primaries. So in a normal game situation, I would recommend on that out of bounds, just let the ball go. I know it's going to bounce into the fan section or whatever, but it just makes it easier for you to get your arm up correctly and point to which way the ball is going. Um, a normal reaction is that just to grab the ball, but then it makes it much harder for you to make appropriate signals and stuff. So, and that's in any situation, there's a lot of officials, that will pick up the ball or chase after the ball. In a normal game situation, I'm telling you, don't go after a basketball and don't try to stop a basketball if it's real close to you. Let it go. A player should really go get it for you and get it back, or it'll come back from somebody in the stands. All right, look at that. We had two partners that had their hands up on a substitution there, and the only one that really needed to have the subs up would be the official that's over at the table there is the one that's bringing the subs in. So his hand is up to partners and not putting the ball into play until subs are in and out. So saw there was a little discussion there, to the coach. I'm not quite sure what that was about, but maybe we'll talk about it when we have a break here and stuff to see comments were getting a little out of line and we had to calm them down, or we were just letting him know about a non-foul situation or a foul situation that we called on a player. All right, you might want to take a look at that jump ball situation. I think this dark player, was on the ball, and then number 20 on the light blue team was on his back, jumped on his back or whatever. So somebody's jumping on somebody's back and creating contact or whatever to try to get to the ball. That's a foul, and you really want to call that. Okay. Again, I think your whistle was very soft, so that your partner didn't hear your whistle calling on that foul call, and then he goes out of bounds. So he's calling the out of bounds. So that's where we talk about, strong whistle. Um, Now the coach is making it known that he thought that his player played really good defense. And again, you can look at it when you on the film, and if he had legal guarding position, or was there contact or wasn't contact. I think in that area of the floor, I think the right person made the foul call. I think Ed by calling it, because he was a C that was right in his area there. So. But the question was it a foul or not a foul? So hopefully you'll be able to get a good visual of it on the film. All right, look at that. Did you really need to rotate over um, in the lead there when the player was shooting and getting rebounds and shooting and getting rebounds? Because those guys are watching, those players, and then you cause a rotation, and then they're kind of like not sure if they're picking it up or not. In this case, it looks like they saw it and then recognized it after the basket went in, but I would have recommended you could have stayed over on that side you were, and just let the play keep going. Instead of causing a rotation in that situation. All right, there's a situation on the free throw. Did the free throw shooter did the ball hit the rim or not hit the rim? Um, I'm not quite sure if it did, but in any case, the lead official should not be making that call. That's coming from the C position, seeing if the ball is actually hit the rim or not. And then if the C misses it, the trail should be the next one to make that call. I mean, the lead should not be looking up at that rim at all. You're looking at the bodies on the rebound situation. So look at it again. I don't know if you see it, the ball, if it deflected down when it hit the rim or it didn't. I'm not sure. All right, that's the end of the first half. Um, good job on the calls. That's one thing I must say that was good. Is the calls they're making are necessary, and probably the second half probably got to keep it the same way. We can't change anything because light blue team is quite physical, and um, the dark team, they're just needing to, fall and push and shove in order to get position and things like that. So. Got the second half underway. Light Blue's got the ball, inbounded it. Guys did a good job the first half of managing the game, and like I said, I think before the half ended, we just got to be focused now on continuing to make the same calls that we did the first half, the second half, and we don't change things and stuff. So want to be consistent and have consistency in your whole game from the very tip off, to the horn when it goes off at the end of the game. That was a good call. Defensive player clearly had his hand on the ball as he was going up to shoot it and restricted him from doing so. And came back down to the floor. Had a jump ball. Good call. right, it was looking, that was good position on that free throw attempt. Moving away from that sideline, getting into the area, that you can cover your responsibilities. And the free throw shooter. So, yep, that was a good position there. And I mean, there's not one single spot right there. It's in that area, that visually you can cover. I think that was a great no call there. That light blue player definitely had the momentum to be able to go in and take a shot, even though there was some slight contact by the dark player. Didn't affect him on his shot. All right, kind of a three-person rotation there. Again, look at it. We didn't need to have three moving, and that rotation should have been over on whoever's on table side comes over to become the new lead, and the C should have stayed in his position where he was. Nope. All right. Look where the ball is being inbounded. That's where you wanted the ball to be inbounded. So you go report the foul and just go down the floor, take your position as the lead head, and your partner, who's over in the C spot across from the table, is responsible for getting those subs in. That was a good call. Good call. Defensive player clearly set. Offensive player went into him. And good job on going over and reporting and then getting subs in. That was a good get from the C position. Again, Ed, we didn't talk about this at the halftime or break situation, but again, your position as the lead on the first attempt of the free throw, you're right next to the player in that spot. And for high school federation mechanics, you take the same position outside the baseline for the first and the second free throw. I saw the Dart coach was touching base with you or talking with you on some things. I'm not sure what the communication was there, but hopefully it looked like it was no complaining or frustration. Maybe just wanted to check in with you on something. Boy, neither team can make a basket right now. There we go. Just struggling when getting the ball inside. That they just can't put the ball down. Probably getting tired from playing a couple games here. But still good. Still good rotations are getting into position. Good catch. There we go. Ball bounced up and hit the strap. It looks like the black teams get a little frustrated now. And as officials, maybe when we're on the floor, we're picking up that a little bit too. Shots aren't going down, so you got to be cognizant of, maybe some fouls that occur now just out of the frustration of them not making baskets and when they're playing defense. It's all part of our mentality when we're out on the court there. I saw the timeout there, you guys were kind of like looking and joking about, was it a 30 or was it a full timeout and stuff. I know in these camps and summer league, those mechanics are kind of not used and kind of looked at of just calling timeouts by what they give, one per half or whatever. But I think, it brings up a good point that maybe you should probably look at, when there's a time call, then depending upon what the rules are for the tournament, try to get the officials maybe still to handle the proper mechanic, on reporting the timeout, whether it's a 30 or full. As clinicians, we probably are lazy on really looking at that. So it's a good thing to make sure you guys are doing it the correct way and officials are going to the right spots per timeout. That was a good get, Ed. I mean, patient whistle. Patient whistle. Blew the whistle, saw the play through, made the call. I'm not sure if we had another crazy rotation there. I mean, I saw you two guys kind of looking at each other, whatever. I can't remember where you started from, but we got officials into spots again where they should be. So look in the film and see once if somebody rotated incorrectly there from where you should have been. Okay, good ball call. Hey, in game situations there, harder falls like that, you want to make sure that the calling official, you want to stay there. Don't leave the area until things are kind of settled down. Always have time to go over to the table and report the foul. And then the next closest official, which would have been the C, wants to be getting into that spot also, just to view and make sure nothing's going to happen with extra pushes or tugs and then the trail could be reviewing all the other players, that are on the floor, making sure that, they're not trying to get into the play to initiate a fight or, some altercation or whatever. So, same thing goes for when there's a jump ball situation. Guys are fighting and tussling for the ball and they're trying to pull it away from each other. We always want to get the closest official. He's going to be in there making the call on what's going on, and then you want the next closest official getting right in there as well. We don't want players to get injured and hurt and have anything occur that we really don't want to. So just my food for thought on that. Bet you guys are thinking to yourself right now, oh man, how did we mess that up? It's one thing that Mike LaGraza stressed to us in that classroom, you know, knowing when the bonus is and not having the table have to blow their whistle and let us know we're in the bonus. So again, I know that in these gym situations, you know, the scoreboard's not in the right spot on these side courts. It's made for the main court. But for sure, when you start repping next fall time, next winter, you want to put that in your repertoire that you're looking and seeing is there's fifth foul, 16th foul that we know next one we're shooting bonus and our partners, we're all aware of that. And that's the ball game. Final score 43-29. Nice job, guys. Everything again that I had to comment on in reference to your game situation is on the tape here. If you have any questions at all, feel free. Give me a call, send me an email, send me a text. I can certainly get in touch with you and discuss it. So, but manage the game well. All right. Good luck on the rest of the camp.